What is up, everybody, and welcome to CTW Postgame Show Live. I'm your host, Seamus Zarlingo, and tonight, folks, yikes, the Boston Celtics, as I fade out the music here, the Celtics, they faded away themselves tonight because, as you see, the bottom on the bottom score on the bottom of the screen, the score on the bottom of the screen, 128-101 tonight. The Boston Celtics fall to the Houston Rockets. All the haptics, the sound. One guy tonight, folks. We're going to rip this solo. We're going to rip this MF for solo tonight. One guy, got to control all the audio and whatnot. It's a little tough going here to here, here to there. But ultimately, the Celtics, it was a little tough for them to go and travel as they did, which they didn't go that far. Last night, Philadelphia on the road. Tonight, back at home at the TD Garden. The Celtics unfortunately fall to the Houston Rockets in embarrassing fashion after winning a really close, entertaining game against the Sixers last night on a Friday night on Halloween for the first NBA Cup game of the regular season for the Celtics. But getting into this one tonight, I know a lot of people are going to look at this game and say, all right, second night of a back-to-back, Celtics, they won a hard-fought, emotional game last night. Tonight, not the same result, right? Tonight, not even close to the same result, and maybe facing a little bit better of a team, maybe a lot better of a team tonight the Celtics face. But really, just the entirety of the story of this game is the efficiency, okay? Because the Celtics, they certainly own their opportunities tonight. Going through the numbers here, I mentioned last post game the shot attempts for the Celtics, the field goal attempts. That matters, right? The field goal attempts matter for the Celtics and actually gaining those extra opportunities. Well, tonight the Celtics did gain those extra opportunities. They shot 103 times to the Rockets 77, but the efficiency is where the Celtics fell off the cliff, and even the free throw line. We'll talk about that in a second, but the efficiency here, 42 of 77 for the Houston Rockets. That's 54.5% on the night. Meanwhile, the Celtics, they shoot 40 of 103. That's 38.8%. The thing is here, the Celtics shoot what? 26 more times than the Rockets tonight. 26 more field goal attempts for the Boston Celtics in this one, yet they make 2 less shots. So that just tells a story about the efficiency in this one. When you're taking that many more attempts and making less shots, you're certainly putting yourself in a place of potentially winning this game if you're the Celtics, if you're shooting the ball well. But the Celtics were not shooting the ball well. And that I never like when people say, oh, well, the Celtics just made their shots. If the Celtics just made their shots, they'd win more games, right? Oh, they lost this game because they shot terribly. Say tonight they shoot 38% from the field, basically 39% from the field. People say, well, the Celtics say, well, if they just shot a little bit better, if their shots went in, it's a make or miss league. That's not what it's always about. It's about how a team is actually generating those shots. Tonight, it was very evident out on the floor. The Boston Celtics were generating their shots at a less efficient rate than the Houston Rockets, who we all know there's some offensive talent on that team, and it's still developing squad. They're at 3-2 right now. We'll get into them a little bit later. But as we see the score at the end of the night, and as we're talking about the field goal attempts and the field goal discrepancy, that is where the Celtics' biggest flaw came into play, is the generation of shots. Houston, they found more open looks. The Celtics were not able to find those same open looks, and a lot of the Celtics' possessions looked rushed. They looked like the team in total was settling, right? Guys were settling on the offensive end of the floor, and on the other end, right, the Rockets, everything seemed to be free flowing, fluid movement, right? And the Celtics just didn't quite replicate that in any manner whatsoever. And it definitely goes to the story of, and it goes along with the narrative as well, of the Rockets being a contender and the Celtics maybe slotting in somewhere in the middle of the league, right? Talked about it the other night. The Celtics came into this season as the 16th ranked team within the win total, as the within the market, right? The odds market. But I will mention on this broadcast, before we take this any further, Game 7 of the 2025 World Series is on right now. So for anybody watching this in 2030 or 2035, which, let's face it, might be us here on this program, like we might be the only ones watching this again later on in time. But 2025 World Series is going on. Game 7. It's up. Bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays are up 4-2. Just going to say this. I'm just going to put it out there on this broadcast right now. We might get to broadcast a World Series win, all right, by somebody. The Dodgers, the Blue Jays don't really have a dog in this race. I gotta say, I support. Well, hold up. Let's get this down here. I'll support the Blue Jays in this one. We'll support the Blue Jays, but the Dodgers. They're a little bit. They're the evil empire. It's going a little off the basketball. The basketball timeline here. A little tangent. Just had to put that one out there. Bottom of the 7th. Who knows if this game will actually end within this broadcast span? But if it does, we'll call it on here just to note that moment in history, because that will definitely be a nice sports moment that people will talk about for a while. But getting back onto the subject of this game and some of the numbers that came out of this game. 19 of 29 from the three-point arc for the Houston Rockets tonight. Meanwhile, the Celtics shoot 14 of 44. So again, we talked about the field goal attempt discrepancy and the field goal makes off those attempts, right? The Rockets make 2 more attempts, yet shoot 26 less times. Well, the three-point category, right? The Rockets, they shoot 15 less times than the Celtics, 44-29 discrepancy there. Yet the Rockets make 5 more three-pointers than the Celtics. Again, goes in line with the story of the efficiency of both of these teams. And then I said we would talk about the free throw line. The free throw line, I think people are going to have a little bit to. I think Celtics fans, right? Maybe the Rockets fan base, they won't have anything to say about this, but the Celtics fan base will certainly have something to say about the free throw advantage the Houston Rockets walked away with after this game was over. 25 of 35 from the free throw line tonight for the Rockets. Meanwhile, the Celtics shoot 7 of 7. So right there, I mean, the Rockets missed 10 free throws, which you're giving a little bit of a gift there if you're the Celtics. They missed 10 free throws tonight out of 35, but the attempts, right? The attempts, you're shooting 35 free throws to the Celtics 7. I mean, the Rockets, that's a major point advantage within the game, because just that category alone, the Rockets are what, plus 18 in the free throw category. And at the end of the night, this is a 27-point game. Doesn't make up the entirety of the margin, but makes up a pretty good portion of it, and definitely changes the complexity of this game down the stretch. The Celtics are much closer within the game and not battling after facing such a discrepancy. Now, I will say this. People are going to sit here and complain and say, well, the Celtics, they didn't make it to the free throw line as many times as the Rockets. Well, the whistle must have been on the Rockets' side. That's not always the case. It's about, again, the generation of shots. That was the biggest problem in this game. And I think this game, we said it earlier. I was on here with Franco earlier, and we were talking about this game after the Sixers game, right? Last night, the Sixers and the Celtics, that entertaining game at the end. We were talking about that, but then looked on to this game and said, well, this could be a little bit of a measuring stick for both teams where they're at 2 weeks into the season, right? Because the Celtics, they start out 0-3. All right, a lot of negativity coming out of Celtics land after that 0-3 start. Then they pick it back up, 3 straight wins. And tonight, they face one of their better, I mean, just probably the best opponent they faced all season long. Now, it's only the 6th game of the season, or rather the 7th game of the season, but probably the best team the Celtics have faced all season long. Meanwhile, the Rockets, on the other hand, they're 2-2, yet they've looked great in their game so far. They're 2-2, but they're probably thinking, okay, we can take this up to another level. So you have the Rockets coming into this game thinking, we can take this up to another level. Our record isn't quite indicative, small sample size of what we can do in the long run, versus the Celtics, who are thinking, we started 0-3, we picked it back up. This is now going to be another building block, key word on this program, as everybody knows, a building block to where we want to go, right? This would be another quality home win against an opponent in which the Celtics aren't supposed to be, right? That first game was against Cleveland on Wednesday, where the Celtics, everybody thought, the Celtics are done in this game. Well, the Celtics win that game. Tonight was another one of those games categorized as that, right? If the Celtics could win this game, you start forming the narrative of the Celtics are a little bit better than that 0-3 start. But now we're back to the median, right? We've crashed back to the median, unfortunately, or crashed back to the mean. Regress to the mean, as they say in math, right? That's where the Celtics are tonight. because the last 3 games, great performances from the Celtics, but you can pick out things from each game, right? The Pelicans game, okay, no Zion. You go to the Cavs game, okay, the Cavs are missing all these players, and their lineup really, we went through it on post game. Their lineup looks nothing right now. The Cavs lineup looks nothing how it did last season. I mean, just with the personnel, you can't expect different personnel to put up the same results all the time. That Cavs game, you can pick that out. And then the Sixers game, the Celtics, we talked about it on that post game. It's the ebb and flow, right? Ebb and flow. The Celtics could have easily given up that game at the end if they allowed that to happen. Now, it didn't happen. They went 3-0. But now tonight against the Houston Rockets, the Houston Rockets are coming in. They are, again, the mentality of we're going to take this up to another level. And they know their progression this season is not just, oh, we're going to get better. When you have 37-year-old Kevin Durant on your team, you're competing for the title. This is a title contending Houston Rockets team walking into the TD Garden. And it's really crazy to see that they're on this potential title journey this season because 2 seasons ago, I mean, they've hit the perfect progression of what a team should be, going from bottom feeder to contending champion potentially, right? The Rockets 3 seasons ago, they're at the complete bottom, 14, 15 seed in the West, complete bottom, right? Bottom feeder team. 23, 24, they break through, right? They break through a little bit. They're not that great, but they're that little mid-tier team in that play-in range, right? Last year, they break through into the playoffs, and you could see that pendulum swing between the Celtics and Rockets when they faced. The Rockets looked a little more young, a little more spry, right? A little more youthful, should say. But those games were indicative of where the Rockets were going and where the Celtics were going. The Celtics, they were still better than the Rockets, but we knew the decline was coming. Meanwhile, the Rockets, we knew they're not better than the Celtics yet, but that incline for the Rockets, that ascension is coming somewhere on the horizon. It's already here. Right now, we're talking about this game less than a year later. I mean, that game at the TD Garden, that was what? A couple of 9 months ago, 10 months ago? It didn't feel that long ago. But that game, compared to now, the Rockets have Kevin Durant. They're a pure title contender. The Celtics with no Jason Tatum, it's almost like they've swapped spots in some way. Because the Celtics tonight, the way they're generating their shots, the way they're finding looks on the offensive end of the floor, you could tell. I don't want to make an excuse for the Celtics team. Okay, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to analyze everything. But tonight, you could definitely tell the intensity was not there from this Celtics team. Considering last night's performance and the result last night, you tell the intensity, the aggression was there within the Celtics last night against the Sixers. Tonight, the Celtics came out a little bit flat, and the Rockets, they ate that up. The Rockets, as skillful, as forceful, as powerful as they were at times in this game, they completely ate that up on the offensive end of the floor. Meanwhile, the Celtics, I mean, they couldn't stop anything the Rockets actually had going. They didn't have the defensive intensity, and then offensively, they didn't have the same shot generation whatsoever. And that was a huge story within this game. As we look at the lead tracker tonight, this one is a sea of red. All right, this is the sea of blood, the Red Sea, however you want to term it. A 36-point lead for the Houston Rockets tonight, and a wire-to-wire win. It was tied twice, as you see there in the first quarter, but outside of that, the Rockets just kept putting it on the Celtics. And this is a lead tracker you might see out of the Celtics in seasons prior. However, now the Celtics are unfortunately giving up these lead trackers to their opponents. And this is something that Celtic Nation might need to get used to. Okay, the Celtics team is not going to be, I mean, we all know this, they're not going to be the championship team of the last 2 years. But these type of games happen for teams that are in the middle of the standings. And the Celtics have not been there in 4 years now. This type of lead tracker, this type of progression by a team's opponent, this is not out of the ordinary in the NBA. We've even seen this, a one-off, and that's the thing. The last couple of years, it's been a one-off. One off here, one off there. This type of performance tonight. Now, second night of a back-to-back, not a great spot for the Celtics, especially traveling, but against a completely superior opponent. I mean, I think we saw that tonight when we talked about the measuring sticks. I mean, this is about as, if you want to measure this right here, here's the measuring stick. Here are the results of that measuring stick. But really talking about what we were talking about earlier with the whole measuring stick of the performances, right? Tonight that lead tracker indicates, okay, the Rockets, they're ticking up. They're going up. They're going up. The Celtics, they regress back to the mean tonight. 3-game winning streak. Great. Looks great. All right. Got to slow our rolls. The Rockets, they're a great team. Of course, they took it to the Celtics tonight. But also, I want to get into I do want to go over some plays here, and I'm going to make this a little bit interesting. We've gone over this a million times. We cannot bring up plays on the screen. We'd be violating copyright. We've done that many times, and YouTube might hate us for it. Who knows? But I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through all the highlights on the Rockets Twitter. Already went through this. I was going, okay, I could maybe verbally explain all of these, right? All the highlights on the Rockets Twitter before their Rockets win post tonight. Rockets win. I mean, they won. But I'm going to go through some of these plays and highlight what was hampering the Celtics at various moments. And just making sure here. Always got to make sure the audio is good. Okay, the audio, we're good, folks. We're good. But the Houston Rockets, let's go through this. Let's go through this. So the first play, I'm actually going to go backwards here. And this is going to be in the fourth quarter. Now, this is when the game is well over, but 6:30 left in the game. And this is the Rockets, the example of space. So on this play, there's going to be a high pick and roll on the play, and you're going to have a rocket. You're going to have two rockets, and if you're looking at the basket, right, you're going to have two rockets in the right corner. You're going to have a rocket in the left corner. You're going to have the big man setting the screen, the high screen. I mean, this is a screen by the logo essentially, and this is with what 6:32 left in the fourth. So a high screen by the logo. You have a roll. I believe this is Capella. Video's a little blurry here, but Capella rolls to the rim, and a huge problem the Celtics here. You have two Celtics, and again, video's almost way too blurry to actually get anybody's identity out of this. I apologize for that. But the two Celtics on the ball essentially take the ball. I mean, right here is just textbook 101 bad defense. Two Celtics take the ball, and I believe this is Jordan Walsh. He's late to recover on this specific play. Capella catches the pass in the middle of the lane. Now, what's great about this is you actually do have Shireman coming over on help. And forgive me, folks, if I'm wrong on some of these names right now. This might be mine, because again, a little bit blurry of a video here, but Capella catches this in space, and there's just a lot of space for Capella to actually operate. But Shireman slides over and actually puts his body in front of Capella and anticipates he's going to take the charge. Now Capella runs right into him, but he finds the open shooter in the corner, and this is the breaking down of the Celtics defense. So once you have two guys take the ball and you have Capella catching that ball in space, because you have the help defense here is not great either, because you really want the help on the outside is a little bit too deep. So when Shireman or Minot's rolling over, you got to disrupt that pass, okay? Because if you're looking at it, they're coming over from the left corner, right? And I really wish I had the names on here right now, but again, the blurry video, I apologize, folks. I'm going to call it Shireman in the corner. But when you have Shireman in the corner like this, you want to bring him up a little bit higher. Now, you want to be preventing the backdoor cut, right? But you also have a help side defender on the right, and you have even two guys to prevent that specifically. But that help was a little too far towards the baseline, right? Capella has all the space in the world after two guys take the ball and leave him rolling on his own. But that help comes over, and this is the breaking down of the Celtics defense. Capella catches this ball, and the charge, now there was a no call on this play. Doesn't look like it was set. Doesn't look like the charge was set in time. I mean, it looks like I might have got there in time. It's one of those, hey, replay, you never know. But the charge is set in time, just a feet, not quite, no call regardless. I mean, you can go either way on that. I like the no call on that one, really. I don't think it was I don't think it should have been a foul either way. But that's the breaking down of the Celtics defense, because that ball gets swung to the corner and bam, wide open three for the Houston Rockets, because you got that help defender sliding over. You have Walsh coming over late because he's taking the ball up with Minot. I believe that was Minot and Walsh at the top of the key. But I apologize for the lack of names on that one. Going to the second play here, though, the fourth quarter, 10:26 left in the fourth quarter. The score is 97-75 at this point. And this is going to highlight some of the, obviously near the end of the game, some of the garbage time crew first. But these guys deserve as much spotlight as some of the other players because let's face it, some of these guys are actually receiving minutes this season. But going and running this play, the Celtics, they're actually in transition. They're on defense. So a lot of these well, actually, all of these should be on the defensive end. It's going to showcase the Rockets' efficiency and the Celtics' defensive inability tonight, I should say, aside from capability. But this one breaks down real early because the Celtics are in transition. You have Shireman on Amin Thompson, and Amin Thompson at the half court mark just gives him a spin move. Just gives him a straight spin move. He's on a one-way track to the rim. He has all the space in the world. And what's a little, I mean, the garbage time crew, what's a little rough about this crew right now, if you're watching the film, it's a crew that they're just late to react. Every single action, they're late to react. On this one, you clearly so Amin Thompson is coming, if you're looking at the basket, so if you're looking at the basket, Amin Thompson's coming up the left side of the court. So when he's coming up the left side of the court, well, Jordan Walsh, he's over there in the left corner. He's got to be on help. And this has to be this is why all five guys on defense matter, right? You could have one all-star defender, backline defender. If the rest of your guys aren't engaged, I mean, a defense can be picked apart no matter who's out there. But this is a late to react play because you have Shireman. He's given the spin move at half court. I mean, Walsh just sits there in the corner and just kind of watches the play. I mean, this is the biggest issue of some guys in basketball and why they don't receive more minutes. It's their time of reaction when they're just looking at a rebound, when they're looking at a guy drive past them. No, you got to react. It's a read and react game. Basketball is a read and react game. You have to read a play and react quickly. I mean, if you're the guy, especially too, a lot of guys think, oh, I'm not the guy. They're the guy. Especially on this play, Walsh, he has to slide over on help to prevent this drive. And the rest of the help defense, this is where, again, you get the breakdown of the Celtics. Oh, somebody is joining me in here. Somebody's joining me. It doesn't look like they're on screen yet, but somebody is going to join me because as you see, the malfunction of StreamYard, when somebody joins the stream, StreamYard goes insane. And we do have a special guest here tonight. He's not so special of a guest because he's usually on this program, Griffin Aldrich. Welcome to the program, Griffin. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing the best I can after Celtics loss. It's an upsetting one, Seamus. It's an upsetting one because the Boston Celtics have been doing phenomenal, to say the least. And we get to a point in time where we all have to come back down to earth, and that high has to kind of come to a low. And that's what happened tonight as the Boston Celtics got crushed by the Houston Rockets. And, we could sit here and complain a lot. However, I like this saying. I believe we've seen a lot of competitiveness from the Boston Celtics. We've seen a lot of times where, it's like, can they be a good team? Like, all right, we beat the Cavs. We beat the 76ers who have been on a tear. But, now we got a taste of a Western Conference team that's going to be a really good team. And we got crushed. It's plain out and simple.
Do you think the back-to-back, because this is going to be the theme of tonight. For as long as people talk about this game, which maybe not too long, right? We might not spend too much time on this game, especially with more coming up in the horizon. But tonight was a second night of a back-to-back. What was more of a factor in this game, in your opinion? Was it the second night of a back-to-back, or was it the Rockets' talent? I think you could say a little bit of both, probably. That's the cop-out answer. But yeah. What if you're going to lean on one side or the other? Because we know it's a mixture of those two. The back-to-back, the Rockets are good. We know that. But what is it more of? Is it more of, wow, the Rockets are just that team? Or is it more of, though the Celtics played an intense game last night, 2 nights in a row, are we going to really expect that same intensity out of them?
And I think you hit it right there. because, I think the Rockets are a phenomenal team, but the Boston Celtics, we can't discredit them at all. We've been playing really good too. And we have to keep that in mind. So, coming off a back to back, and especially a hard back to back, the 76ers haven't been a terrible team. Like, they've been good this season. And, like you said, Seamus, last night was a tough game for the Boston Celtics. And then you come into this game playing the Rockets, who are going to be phenomenal. And it's just like, it's a little mixture of both, because the Rockets, we see how good they are. We see how well they could perform. However, back-to-backs put a lot of wear and tear on players. And, if you look at a back-to-back and it's like, all right, you face the Rockets one night and you face the Wizards the next, then it's going to be like, all right, if we got blown up by the Wizards, say, for example, it's like, what are we doing? Like, that's crazy. That could have been back-to-back. But at the same time, it's this Rockets team. I think it would have been a little closer had it not been a back-to-back, but I still think the Rockets are a good team. I feel like if we played them, with a day rest, I feel like this could have been a lot more of a competitive game. But at the end of the day, still, the Rockets are a good team.
Yeah, and we saw that in its entirety tonight, talking about some of the efficiency numbers earlier. The Celtics took a lot more shots than the Rockets tonight, a lot more opportunities, and didn't do as much with those opportunities as the Rockets did with less amount of opportunities tonight. And that was basically, I mean, when you see that, right? When you see those kind of margins within a game, you just know there's a higher level of talent working for one squad or the other, right? And that's essentially what was happening. But this Houston Rockets squad, I do want to get onto this conversation. I want to shift it a little bit towards the Rockets perspective, because we always talk about the Celtics, but we have to talk about our opponents as well. The Rockets, will be seeing them once, maybe. I don't know, finals, maybe 8 more times. Who knows? Maybe 8 more times, but at least one more time this season. And of course, the Rockets come through the TD Garden with, now, I don't want to say a familiar face, Griffin, but he's a familiar face to the NBA community, Kevin Durant. Not a familiar face to the Celtics community. Although, that one time in 2016, he's rolling through the Hamptons with Tom Brady and who was at that meeting? Kelly Olynyk, right? It was Kelly
Yeah.
Olynyk, Tom Brady, Marcus Smart. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good times. The one meeting with Kevin Durant, we thought, maybe. But Kevin Durant, nearly 37 years old, now on this Rockets team. Kevin Durant's career has been a roller coaster that it's not as if the roller coaster has ever been completely off the rails other than his Achilles tear. But he's been with so many different teams, so many different locations, right? Started with Oklahoma City. He controversially signs with Golden State. Then he controversially leaves to Brooklyn, signs there in free agency, and then requests a trade to Phoenix, and then eventually requests a trade and gets traded to the Rockets, where he is now. But Kevin Durant's legacy, he's clearly one of the best players of all time, clearly one of the best players of this generation. And you could say the last decade, right? There were moments where he was above LeBron. I mean, especially 2017, 18, 19 range. Kevin Durant was almost firmly in front of LeBron during those moments. And LeBron, he was always thrown into conversations with Michael Jordan and the GOAT. And I don't like to get into all those, but we all know great players are great. But Kevin Durant, where his legacy's at right now, what do you exactly see the legacy of Kevin? And you might be I've got to say this, you might be the wrong guy to ask this question, because my
Yeah.
man Griffin over here, Kevin Durant, not your cup of tea,
I,
right? Not the guy you want on your team, but his legacy at the end of his career, which is, you would have to assume, not that far away. What, 3, 4, 5 seasons from now, maybe? But Kevin Durant has been with all these different squads, won the championships in the location which people kind of disregard, right? The Warriors, that was, they almost see those as lesser championships because he was there. But what does Kevin Durant's legacy actually look like once his career's over? How will people actually remember Kevin Durant? Which uniform will they remember him in?
well, I think you could realistically look at him at OKC or Golden State. Those are the two that kind of spot out to me, because you didn't really see a whole lot in Brooklyn. You saw him making his own super team with Kyrie Irving, and then you kind of fast forward, and him in Phoenix was just a shit show. I mean, let's just face it there. That was not fun. That was not a good time in Phoenix. And you
That
saw
was probably okay, right now the Miami Dolphins, right? The Miami Dolphins are just the bad vibe sports team of any sport league anywhere right now. That was the Phoenix Suns the last 2 seasons with Kevin Durant.
and that's where my rift with Kevin Durant comes into play, is because, the Phoenix Suns were a solid team before that. They went to the finals against the Milwaukee Bucks, ended up losing that. However, had a solid foundation with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and had a good core there. Kind of had I want to kind of give it a Pistons vibe. They had a team full of role players. However, they gave up a lot for Durant, and that's where their ship sunk. However, you look at Durant, and I want to compare him to the age where, you get old, but you still have some left in the tank. Because superstars, players who are at the top of their game, and usually if they're hit by a serious injury, it's over for them. But I look at guys like LeBron, Durant, and Stephen Curry, and even Kawhi Leonard, but he's kind of lesser of them. But I look at them, they still have something left in the tank unless they're completely washed. And I don't think that is Kevin Durant. And I look back on his legacy, and this is going to be a Hall of Famer. And we might easily come into the conversation. I don't think it will get this far, but, looking back on his legacy, we could be like, all right, this guy was a top 10 player of all time. I don't know how far we will go to say with that, and that's taking a lot for me to say, Seamus, because on this program, I do not like Kevin Durant. I have not liked it. I hate every time he's in a rumor going to the Boston Celtics, because let's face it, those rumors come in a lot more than we like. But, ultimately, he had a solid game tonight. And I don't know if you mentioned it already in the broadcast, but in 30 minutes had 26 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, a block, and shot 72.7%. I mean, his shooting tonight was good. And this is a player you're going to look back on and you're going to be like, yeah, he may have had Curry and Clay and Draymond, in that, with that Golden State Warriors era. However, he was still a key factor behind that. He was a huge factor. And I think when you look back, you're going to have people that are like, all right, well, the Golden State days didn't count. But you look back, if he wins a championship with this team and he still compete like this, the Rockets might be a team where they're like, all right, we can kind of give him a statue out there. And I don't know, Seamus, if you've watched Starting Five, but he really talked about how,
here and there.
Yeah, they've talked about how many statues will he have? Will he have one in OKC? Will he have one in Golden State? Will they have one in Brooklyn? Will they have a handprint or something?
I don't think he's gonna. That's my issue. Is okay. The one team I actually feel the fan base could embrace him after his career would be Golden State.
Yeah,
Because of the titles, because of all the winning. I mean, come on, he was there for 3 seasons. They won like crazy. They made the finals 3 years in a row, and you could easily say they should have won the finals 3 years in a row if he didn't tear his Achilles in Game 5 of the finals, or even or injured his calf 2 rounds before that. But all of that winning, I think that's going to go to the embrace of Kevin Durant after his career's over. But at the same time, he was only there 3 seasons, which is not very long at all. I mean, think about Derek White's been a Celtic longer than Kevin Durant was a Warrior, which is
that's
just
crazy
mind
to
blowing,
think.
mind boggling. Got to bring out that word. But Kevin Durant was only there for 3 seasons, and he left in kind of a I don't know how to I don't
A
know what
sour,
vocabulary word to use.
a sour note or a
It
bad.
was a sour note. There was a sour taste. It wasn't.
It was
I was gonna say. I don't want to say
well,
disrespectful, but it was seen as disrespectful when he left because there was this whole story about Curry going out and flying and meeting Durant and talking to him about re-signing with the Warriors, and Durant essentially. I mean that tweet by Woj at the time, right? And that was back when free agency, the league, it's like, oh yeah, you guys are all signing at 12:01. It used to be at midnight, folks. Now they turn it into a TV event at 6:30 prime time, but it used to be at 12:01. The real OGs were up at midnight watching all this. But that's what used to happen is in 12:01. Oh, okay. Well, actually, that was the first year. 2019 was the first year they changed it to the primetime slot. Just this is where you get into the conspiracy theories, right? 2019 they changed the time within free agency to that primetime slot so they can broadcast it on TV. And oh, who's signing where that year? Oh, right, KD and Kyrie are signing with the Nets, which is at the time was one of the biggest free agency moves ever outside of what happened 10 years prior, rather 9 years prior, with LeBron James, Chris Bosh joining the Miami Heat. But that right there, that free agency moment in which Kevin Durant signed with the Nets, that was not taken positively by the Warriors organization, by the Warriors fan base, by Steph Curry, everyone involved within that situation. Now, as time moves on, I think the thing that right time heals everything, but also what heals everything is winning. We always talk about that in any setting with any team. Winning will cure all. And the Warriors won another title after Durant left, and that was kind of their crowning moment. I think the first championship and even that championship, those are probably that's again the most unfortunate thing about Kevin Durant is the two most valuable championships to the Warriors. It's that first one because everybody loves their first one, but then that championship after Kevin Durant left, I mean, that was out of the blue. That was out of nowhere, essentially, that season after the Warriors were the 8th seed the year prior. But in that moment, they win without Kevin Durant, and it kind of cures the okay, Kevin Durant left. It's like we could still win without Kevin Durant. But it gets into they did win two championships without him, two of the four without him, and he was only there for 3 seasons, and he left on a sour note. How much, right? Because say Cleveland, right? Cleveland, LeBron, I mean, no matter what happens, he's going to be beloved in Cleveland because he
Oh yeah.
brought that championship to Cleveland. Golden State, 3 years. I don't know if that same embrace is going to be there. And then Oklahoma City, no, they're not. To me, it would take so the owner of the Thunder, right? Which I apologize, I don't know his name, but whoever owns the Thunder, right? I'm sure he's a billionaire, so he's
Sure,
pretty popular,
yeah,
right?
definitely a
But
billion. Yeah, I think.
whoever owns the Thunder, it would take a dictatorial executive decision to say we want a Kevin Durant statue outside our arena
Well, can I say something though, Seamus?
because the fan base ain't going for it.
But I want to say this though, because you look at the Boston Celtics, they're such a historic franchise. You look at this OKC team is such a young franchise that they might look back at that though and be like, all right, he's one of the founding fathers, like how we got. But
I
at
don't
the
know. I
same
think they
time,
look at it like,
like
oh
at the
yeah,
same time,
look at
right,
Shea, look at what we got
yeah,
now,
look what we have
look at
now.
all what we
And
got.
it's like you guys didn't build anything. You guys didn't have anything here. You guys were good, but did you seriously build anything here? No. So I think you could look at it two ways. You could either look, all right, he was like the first, like, look what he became in his career, and he started off here. Or you could kind of look at the side where it's like, all right, you didn't win here. You won elsewhere, but you didn't really do anything here.
OKC, I'm telling you, this is why OKC. I'm going to try to relate this to the Celtics perspective because the Celtics perspective of this is Isaiah Thomas, right? Isaiah Thomas was the founding father, the building block, the bridge to Tatum and Brown, essentially.
Yeah.
He set the winning culture for that winning culture to be exacerbated to where it is today. Well, that is definitely not how OKC views Kevin Durant for this reason. I'm going to relate it to Jason Tatum and the Celtics a couple years ago. If Jason Tatum, okay, after the 2023 season where the Celtics lose to the Miami Heat in the conference finals, right? They lose to the Miami Heat in 7 games after going down, unfortunately, 0-3. They came back, made it a 7-game series. But if Tatum were to have left the Celtics that summer in free agency, which he wasn't even a free agent, this is just a complete hypothetical.
Yeah.
But if he were to have hit free agency in 2023, that would be like Jason Tatum leaving the year before the championship year to the Miami Heat and going and winning a championship there instead.
And
That is what you like. Picture
true.
it that way. Would we ever accept Jason Tatum as a Celtic legend ever again?
Oh,
No. He would
and-
be the I don't want to say Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth, there's a whole different story about the Red Sox owner and blah 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 blah. What Kevin Durant did at the time, and this is one of those, kids talk about it nowadays, like, we lived through it. We lived through it. But what he did in that moment was so utterly egregious when it comes to just the field of competition and who's in the locker room and the battles you actually fight with your teammates out on the bat. I mean, that the Warriors and the Thunder, the thing about that is also, I just want wait, I'll finish this and I'll go over here real quick. But the Warriors and the Thunder, that was a deeply embedded rivalry. They just faced in the Western Conference Finals. They were the two teams in the West up and coming, right? When the Spurs were out West winning, it was the Warriors, the Thunder, and the Clippers. Those were the three up and coming teams. You had the Clippers with Lob City, you had the Thunder with KD, Russ, and even Harden at a certain point in time, and then you had the Splash Brothers and Draymond out in Golden State. Those were the three West teams. You could probably throw a couple of Blazers, who had a couple of random teams in there, but those were the three up and coming teams. So for Kevin Durant, that was a deeply embedded rivalry for years, right? For years, the Warriors and Thunder were going back and forth as the up and coming teams. And then Kevin Durant just up and leaves the situation or rather the Thunder situation for the Warriors situation, goes and wins championships there. Right before the Thunder, it seemed as if the Thunder were going to face the Cavs in that 2016 final series. However, didn't happen. They blew the 3-1 lead. Even after that season, I remember pinpointing the Thunder as, if Kevin Durant comes back to this Thunder team, the Thunder are the favorites to win the championship, because the Warriors the year prior, they won 73 games. They almost lost to the Thunder in the conference finals. Then the Thunder the year after, they re-signed Kevin Durant. They add on to the back end of their roster. They should be right there with the Warriors yet again. The Warriors don't have Kevin Durant. They're not indestructible at that point. 100% the Thunder could have won the 17 championship if quite possibly Kevin Durant just re-signs there. So the Thunder, they had to wait till 2025 to get their rightful ring. But I'm going to point out here, folks, top of the ninth.
I know, I just
one
saw
out,
you miss
4-3. You might be ahead of me. I'm just saying. You might be ahead of me, Griffin. One out, top of the ninth. 2-2 count to Rojas. Hoffman on the mound. 4-3 Blue Jays on top. Blue Jays 2 outs away from winning the World Series, folks. Woo! My heart's pumping a little bit. I kind of downplayed it. I go, I have a dog in this fight, but I got about 5 Blue Jays hats in my room. I have 2 or 3 Blue Jays jerseys. I mean, the Blue Jays are, Otani's on deck too. Otani on deck. I'm sorry, Griffin, we've gone completely from basketball to baseball. This is a sports moment. This is why I love.
Keep it a minute. We have to just let it ride for a second.
We're letting this ride. And also, we're only going an hour. So, the Celtics were blown out tonight. We got a game against the Jazz on Monday. We had a game last night.
Watch the screen and we could talk. We could watch.
Plenty of basketball conversation to get with, or rather to talk about, but where are you at? Right? Oh, that one is hit to deep left. Gone! Rojas ties the game. 4-4. Top of the ninth, Miguel Rojas. First home run of this postseason.
I know, Seamus.
A solo shot, and Dave Roberts cannot believe it. Oh my goodness, folks. Wow. Miguel Rojas, 387 feet, 105 exit velocity. Oh my goodness.
Out of all the players, Miguel Rojas.
The Blue Jays fan base is stunned, as am I.
I am too. That's why we got to get off of this topic, because I do not want the Dodgers to win the World Series. No. Since we have a tie, it kind of looks like that.
Otani up to bat. He's going to fly out to left. 2 outs. Miles Straw. No, we're just gonna call the baseball game at this point,
Yeah,
Griffin. We'll
let's
just
just
call
call
the
it
baseball
baseball
game.
game. I'm a little ahead of you though, Seamus. I do have
Well,
to
that's what I'm
say.
saying. You gotta pause, man. You gotta
Well,
hit that pause button.
I have reel up. I don't even have the whole game.
Do I have to? I can't get. You already know where to go. Already.
I know where to go.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it. We're live. Don't say anything.
But no, I do want to. While we're talking about this, though, I want to go on a little rant. I want to say one thing really quick, Seamus. If anyone deserves a statue in OKC, it's Paul George. Okay, can we just say that? Do you agree? Is it
Paul
Paul?
George. I will say his 2018-19 season was. That is a season where I believe he wins the MVP in I don't, this one of those, in this season, whatever. But he wins the MVP a lot of seasons with that performance, but just so
Well,
happened to be in the same season that Harden dropped 45 in the month of February, averaged 45 points per game, right? Dropped 45 once. No, he averaged for the whole month 45 points per game in January. And then Giannis, he was in the middle of his MVP streak and breakout of that time. I mean, Giannis, seriously, Giannis, what we forget on TV, it looks crazy, but in real life, Giannis is a freak. He's the Greek freak. Let's face it. Giannis at that moment in time, it was a spectacle. And he's still a spectacle nowadays, but and things are around for a while. People, they lose the lust for it. The lust of the new shiny object. That was Giannis
well,
at the time. But that Paul George season, 2018-19, and he wasn't even, to me, he kind of, Paul George and Russell Westbrook, they're going to be remembered well in OKC. Specifically Russell Westbrook. We know this. He's a legend in OKC because of what happened. I mean, he's a legend because of the whole cupcake KD, the whole fighting, and 16-17 season. I mean, that was, everybody loves 2016. That's the meme, right? Oh, the summer of 2016 was the greatest time of all time. But 2015-16, that season, everybody talks about that. NBA season 16-17 was just as crazy. And that was the crowning moment of Russ winning the MVP, averaging a triple double, going back and forth with KD. And that was I don't know, I'm sure we have since that moment. Have we seen a more hyped game since the Warriors Thunder game? And I believe it was February of 2017. That was when KD and Russ, that was the first time they met after KD left to the Warriors. Have we seen I'm sure we've seen a
baseball game right now, Seamus. It's baseball game right now.
I'm sure that's why people, you notice people joining in up here, that we're broadcasting the baseball game essentially at this moment. We're at commercial right now.
The only reason I say Paul George though is because he was traded for Shea. So
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, that was the tangent I was on. I went too far down the Russell Westbrook path. But Westbrook and Paul George, those trades set up for this championship team. And that's another thing is, Isaiah led to Kyrie. Kyrie led to more winning, and Kyrie led to cap space, and which led to Kimbo, which led to Horford, which led to the championship team. You can see the bridge put together by Isaiah Thomas just with that one transaction. And not only that transaction, you could say, oh, well, here's what we got back in a trade. He also won and created a culture in Boston that's important. But on the OKC side of things, right, when it comes to Kevin Durant and Shea and all them, right? Well, Kevin Durant doesn't connect to this OKC team because of a couple factors, right? The connection is severed in a couple of areas. Number one, he left in free agency, so naturally we're getting distracted by baseball over here.
All right, Seamus.
But naturally you don't get anything back while you lose a player in free agency. You just lose that player, you don't get anything back. Oh, cap space, you lose him. Mm-hmm. Well, secondarily, Kevin Durant built a culture in Oklahoma City of winning, but then he left. That culture was still there with Russell Westbrook, but it was diminished, and then it completely went away. Okay, remember when they walked into the TD Garden 2021? They were on a 14-game losing streak, and the Celtics embarrassingly lost that game. But that was the whole bit. It was, how do you lose to the Thunder? And that was in 2021. Their rise to the top is, people underestimate the where they went from in such a short period of time. I mean, usually there's a little bit more of a progression. That's why people didn't believe in the Thunder last year, even the year before at the top of the standings. But the Thunder, there wasn't a winning culture there, and then a new one was built. Isaiah, the winning culture started with Isaiah because the big three winning culture was there. Then it went away, right? Because all those guys were traded, went away for a while, or rather a season, I should say, a season and a half. And then Isaiah brought it back. And ever since that point, really ever since Isaiah Thomas was traded to the Celtics have been a competitive basketball team. Durant leaves the Thunder for the Warriors. There's no return for Kevin Durant. And on top of that, the culture went away. And when the culture came back, he had nothing to do with it. But I want to point out that the Blue Jays could win the World Series on one swing here. And it could be another Joe Carter moment.
Wait, they're home?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, they are home. All right,
This man is not even watching a broadcast right now.
I'm not. Shout out to Real.
I gotta actually stay off. I gotta stay off Twitter right now because that ball is deep. Vladdy, warning track. No. I'm glad. Okay. I need to stop looking. I'm texting you right now, but I'm gonna try to get off my device down here, my iPad, because I keep seeing notifications pop up that may be a little in front of me, and I just saw, whoa, I thought he won it, and then I saw the swing, the Vladdy swing, and I go, oh, that must be the one that he almost won it on.
I'm gonna have the game so we can watch this together. But
Bichette.
Who do you have?
I'm gonna put. I feel like I have to put all my stuff down right now.
Who do you have winning the World Series?
I mean, I didn't make a prediction. I personally thought the Blue Jays could beat the Dodgers. I didn't think this was a Yankees-Dodgers situation last year. I thought the Dodgers were clearly in front of the Yankees, just personnel-wise. Now, at points in this series, you could look at the Blue Jays lineup and go, okay, yeah, not too much substance there, but I generally think their pitching staff, especially compared to what the Yankees had last year, a little more put together. That's not to say though the Dodgers. I mean, they're still just a super team. Bichette out to left. That one's gonna get down.
Oh, Seamus, you're ahead of me on this. Yeah, I have to say you are pretty ahead of me now. But
Bichette is literally standing on first, like I am the winning run of this World Series right now. They are gonna replace him. Are we serious right now? Are we serious?
IKF, right?
Yep. Isaiah Kiner Falefa. They're gonna replace him. This is gonna be one. I cannot wait until one day we look back at this post-game show and it's like, hey, let's hear some Rockets Celtics talk. And no, it's just Blue Jays Dodgers and OKC and Durant for the last 30 minutes of it. It's okay, folks. The Celtics were blown out tonight. We like sports. We like sports here.
You know, that's why they're sticking around.
We can't be talking about Josh Minot all the time. Although I do love me some Josh Minot.
This is a season, Seamus, this is a Celtics season where it's okay at time to talk about the Blue Jays and the Dodgers in the World Series. That just explains the season for you guys. It's not going to be a sunshine and rainbow season. It's going to be a season where it's like, all right, what else are we spotting in the league that could be interesting to talk about?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, okay, right now we're at the 54-minute mark. I was going to close this out about an hour in here. Do we cover this inning? Do we cut it?
I think we cover the inning.
No, well, we'll cover the rest of the inning, but I'm saying we can't go into extra innings because we might be here till 2 a.m.
I mean, that's the case. Yeah, we can't. I think after this inning, we call it good.
Also, this is a Celtics broadcast. Let's face it.
Yeah, so you guys, if you want to hear Seamus, be recording yourself so we get a live reaction.
Well, this could be anticlimactic in the sense of, Dodgers score a run off a single.
That doesn't happen though, because I'm not rooting for the Dodgers by any means right now.
Me neither. But fair. Oof.
Well, I have to say though, it hurts that Blake Snell is in right now though. That
Why does it hurt?
Because he's a starter. How is
Well, this is game 7. You on it. Okay. This is what I love about playoff baseball, specifically in these situations. The regular season, it's all rest, preserve this guy.
but now it's
These
like
are the moments you
you're gonna
preserve the tank
stand
for.
on.
Yeah, when Yamamoto was warming up the other night after throwing a complete game, and he's like, "I'm gonna go in if there's a 19th inning."
Yeah,
That was so utterly badass. And in my opinion, I think a
did you
player
watch
can
that?
go out and do that in that moment. Now, statistically, you're saying, okay, this player in this spot is statistically less efficient.
Yeah.
But if you're coming in 19th inning of the World Series, it's like, just go out there and throw the ball, man.
And did
Go out
you
there and throw your best stuff because you're gonna have 5 months off after this. I mean,
did you
you're
watch
seriously
that
just
game?
go out there and throw your arm out. Like, this is the World Series. This is your one shot to win it all, and it's not easy to win the World Series, as we know. I mean, a couple of years ago, the Rangers win the World Series. Total one-off. When are they ever going to win it again? Who knows? That was a lottery. I mean, the Cardinals feel like that right now. Everybody
Well,
knows I'm a
shoot,
Cardinal
could it
fan.
even be the Blue Jays? Like, could this be a one-off?
Well, this is the random, like, you don't see the Blue Jays. To me, I wouldn't expect the Blue Jays to be the same
Like the Dodgers,
team next
you're
year.
gonna see time
Really?
in, time out. But like the Blue Jays, this is like gonna be big if they win. I'm rooting for them. Let's go Blue Jays. I'm
Man, look at this, though. You're a Red Sox fan. For me, I'm a Cardinals fan. I'm stick with the Birds, go against the Dodgers. You're like rooting for an in division. I guess the Brewers to you guys, or sorry, the Brewers. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Blue Jays for you guys are like the Brewers.
yeah.
Like, we in the Central Division, okay, the Cardinals. Okay, Cardinals Cubs is like Yankees Red Sox. Okay, it's like there's no positivity there. There's all bad blood. It's all bad. Reds, Pirates, I feel like there's more cemented rivalries there. The Reds, couple fights over time. Pirates, 2013, remember that? Francisco Liriano. But those three, Cubs, Pirates, Reds, fierce rivalries, especially the Cubs. But the Brewers, there's a rivalry there as well. But it's not as, I don't know, well, 2011 NLCS,
Yeah,
a
and like with
bit.
the Blue Jays, like there's
Niger Morgan,
but like at the same time,
Prince
it's
Fielder, Ryan Braun.
anyone at this point, it's like anybody but the Dodgers or Yankees, like that. But like even when it was Dodgers Yankees last year, I was rooting for Dodgers, which sucks because I don't.
As a Red Sox fan, though, who would you rather see win the World Series in your division? Would it be the Blue Jays or the Orioles? Because
Blue.
you would. Okay, so the Yankees are a no-go,
Yeah.
and what about the Rays?
I would say the Orioles. I would say
Rays, Orioles, Blue Jays. Well, we're about to see. I mean, if one swing of the bat, this World Series ends and the Blue Jays win.
Yeah, I do have
And
to
they
say,
have 2 men on base, folks. 2 men on base.
after this
As
inning,
Barger draws a walk. We got 2 men on, 1 out, bottom of the ninth, 4-4 game.
So let's keep our
One
eyes.
swing of the bat does end this in not the home run way, but it's in the gap. If it's in the gap,
Oh my
this one's
gosh,
over.
you scared me, Seamus. I thought it was in the gap. Can I please?
No.
Oh, hold on. I have to see.
It's like my heart's pumping so much. I'm like cold.
I know because like for me too, it's like personally
Anxious cold. Yamamoto is warming up for the
no
Dodgers.
way. Oh my gosh.
Alejandro Kirk. Is he going to win the World Series?
Oh my gosh. Yamamoto
This
is coming out, Seamus. Yamamoto.
You gotta look at a bunch of ads.
Replacing Blake Snell. What a crazy situation we have. And Seamus, I do have to say, this is my cue though. I do have to head out at this point. But if you're covering,
you're not gonna stay for this potential walk-off situation.
We'll give it this last inning.
You have 2 more outs, Griffin. Let's do this inning. We're done. We're done after this inning. We're done after this inning. We're a Celtics broadcast. We've gone so far down into our own interests on this one. But hey, baseball is.
I do have to ask you a question though. I do have to ask. Did you watch the full 18 innings?
Not the full 18 innings. I had other. Well, that was the night. We had a game that night.
Yeah,
we had post game that night.
Did you have it on though? At what time were you up watching that game?
Oh, I watched the end. I saw the Freddie. I was making mac and cheese at 2:30 in the morning watching Freddie Freeman because
I I
I
personally was up watching that game too. So I watched I and I have to admit it came up on my phone before I saw it up there and I was like, come on.
no,
Like
I was watching it on my phone and I had it sitting on the coffee maker and I'm stirring a pot of noodles over here and I knew okay, so I was watching it on TV before I went and because I was holding off from making food and 2:30 in the morning. This was dinner, folks, unfortunately, but 2:30 in the morning dinner. I was holding off for the game to end. And eventually I was like, okay, I gotta just
I'm
like
making dinner. Like
I
I'm like,
gotta like just do it during the. I had it set up, but I was watching on TV and I remember they were showing Freddie Freeman on first. I remember I had the thought of because they were talking, oh, he's up next inning, oh, and everybody's mindset goes back to game one, right? Game one last year against the Yankees in that classic home run, and he did it again. I mean, I the inning prior, I was thinking, Freddie Freeman, wouldn't that be cool if he had another one of those moments? And he did. He did. Sometimes I like to see good moments, just despite honestly, there are some teams I can't watch win. Say the Cubs in 2016. To this day, if it comes up on screen like the last play of the Cubs winning the World Series, I won't watch it. I won't. I won't watch the Lakers win the title either.
no.
2020, 2010, I won't watch it. I don't want to see it. Blackhawks winning the Stanley Cup, I don't want to see it. Literally, the last moment, it's like, nope, I don't need to see it. It's not even in my sphere of existence, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah. It's like it's
the
like
Eagles Super Bowl 2018, Philly and New England. Nope, haven't watched. I try not to watch any bit of that.
oh my gosh, Kirk was hit.
Whoa now,
Oh,
whoa,
that's
whoa now.
all I
Wait,
was
what?
wait,
Let's
am
see.
I ahead of you now?
Okay, yes.
All right. So that sucks. But Alejandro Kirk was hit. Bases loaded, Seamus.
Bases loaded, bottom of
Oh
the ninth.
my gosh.
Do not.
No, no, nothing happened. Nothing happened. That was just
You
my
gotta like.
no. Nothing happened. I'm just saying bases loaded. Like one hit
Well,
wins the World Series. What?
one
What?
hit, one walk. One. I
What?
mean, the Dodgers are on the brink right now. The Dodgers are on the
Oh
brink.
my gosh. This is
And who's coming to the plate?
who is it?
Dalton Varsho,
Oh
who the
my
Blue
god.
Jays traded for back before the 2023 season. The Blue Jays
I'm
traded for
getting
Dalton Varsho. They traded away Lourdes Gurriel, and that was a huge controversial trade at the time because Gurriel was very good.
I'm
And
not gonna lie,
people went, I don't know, but Varsho he has a chance to win the World Series.
I'm getting chills too, just because I don't. It might be because I'm cold, or it might be because I just don't want the Dodgers to win. Oh, they're coming out.
Varsho comes to the plate.
Wow, just a walk. That's all. You think he'll small ball? Do you think he'll bunt? Would
Oh, that is
if,
interesting.
if I'm the
You
coach,
bunt in this situation, you
am I
swing away.
am
Well, it
I getting
depends
a
what the
bunt?
statistics say on this. I mean,
I would
okay,
bunt.
Tommy Edman, former Cardinal, coming out for Pajes.
I would bunt. I would bunt. I'm being so serious. I would bunt. Put in your best
I,
bunt. Is Dalton Varsho a good bunter? I
my
put in
heart is just pounding right now because of this.
if they
Like,
had
it's not like actually like this is actually a little bit more. I'm simmered compared to like say if I don't know, say the Celtics were in this situation or somebody else. I don't know. This is
I know this is like the least of our worries. Like
we've but
realistic.
we've seen like Boston sports fans, right? And for me personally, I'm Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox. I'm sorry, folks, I'm not in that crowd. I'm Cardinals, Blues guy, right? I'm from St. Louis, but the Patriots and the Celtics, we've been here. Okay, we've been here.
Holy cow.
Many playoff
Yo,
appearances, many
everyone,
Super
right?
Bowls, many finals games.
Come on,
Whew. Wow.
Yamamoto.
Our show,
Ball one.
Yamamoto, first pitch, and it's
Oh,
a ball.
I'll shut up. I'll shut up. I'll say. I will if I freak out though.
Barshow 0 for 4 in this game.
Oh my gosh, this is
And Here comes the 1-0. Varsho hits it down the line. And it's foul. 1-0.
Oh, I just had a heart attack. Like, you think, though, so no bunt, which is interesting. I would have went bunt right now. I would have went bunt. I really would have.
Whew.
Oh, my gosh.
Here comes.
Oh,
1-1.
no way. No
Strike.
way. No way. That totally looked outside.
1-2. 1-2.
That looked so outside.
Griffin, is that how you're broadcasting baseball games? You're like, for SMC, no way. 1-2. Yamamoto delivers. Varsho puts it on the ground. He's going home. Ow. Okay, we got to round this up. Okay. So he just hit it to Miguel Rojas at second base, who threw straight home and got the out at home. And John Schneider is going to challenge to win the World Series. This was a force out at home. Did his foot come off the bag? Did Will Smith's foot come off the bag?
Oh, he stepped back.
Will Smith, did his foot come off the bag?
He stepped back on it. He stepped.
His foot comes off the bag. That is close. That's close. And Kiner Falefa on third, coming to score.
Dang. He stepped back on it. Oh, that's close, but you could see, he comes right back on. Ooh, wait.
Oh my God.
Wait, that angle.
No, I think he's out. He's out.
I think he is too.
I think you can. I want Fox to freeze frame this. Boom, right there.
I think
it's very, very close.
I don't get why they didn't bunt. That's going to be a hot take. That's going to be a hot take for centuries. I'm telling you, Blue Jays fans are going to be saying this all the time. Why didn't we bunt? Just saying. If
that was so close, though, like,
yeah.
If you're the Blue Jays and you lose this World Series, you're thinking,
or you're thinking bunt. I'm thinking bunt. Like, realistically, all right.
I don't know. That's like not even real baseball. Bunt.
Yeah.
Oh, let me bunt to win the World Series.
But all right, come on. But you're taking any chance. Like, I don't care if it's a bunt. It's like
2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Here we go. Ernie Clement up to the plate. And he hits it high out to left field. And that ball is caught. Caught by Paez. What?
Oh my gosh. Why? Like,
and he just runs into Kike Hernandez and catches it like he's Justin Jefferson. Oh, wow. My goodness. This Dodger defense right now may have just saved them a World Series win.
Wow.
That ball was deep, and that ball was almost gone, and that ball was almost, that almost dropped. That almost dropped, folks. I thought that was going to drop.
I did too.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay, I guess we have to end this broadcast.
We do. But everyone, go watch the World Series. Go watch it right now. This is intense. So, the 4 viewers.
Yeah. Here we go, folks. Shout out to Colby Rasmus. Okay. Shout out to Colby Rasmus. He fist bumped me. We were at Busch Stadium. Okay, going around the field at Busch Stadium, Little League. He was out there, sticking his head out the dugout, fist bumped, high-fived everybody. And I was just a little kid, and he fist bumped me, goes, "Hey, bud," and just walked past. Like, we were supposed to keep walking past, right? But he got traded to the Blue Jays from the Cardinals. But here's a Colby Rasmus Blue Jays jersey for you. It was hanging in my background a couple of post games ago. But all right, we're gonna have to. Here we go. I guess
give them some hope.
I guess that's gonna end it for us here today or tonight, folks. But we see on the bottom of the screen the Celtics 128-101 as I try to find the music that will get us out of here. Where's the rock?
Where's the rock?
Where's the rock? Here it is. All right, folks. We're out of here. Celtics lose 128-101 to the Houston Rockets. the Blue Jays and the Dodgers going extra innings in Game 7 of the 2025 World Series. Tied 4-4. Whoever wins this game wins the series 4-3. But we will be back with you guys on Monday. We'll know who wins the World Series at that point. We'll know who will have won. And we will also know who will have won the Celtics Jazz game on Monday, which will be the next game on the Celtics schedule. But we will have you guys covered for that one on the CTW Postgame show. But for me here, Seamus Zarlingo and Griffin Aldrich alongside me, thank you for joining us for the crazy World Series coverage. But we will be back here on Monday. And of course, as always, thank you all for watching, and go Celtics.